The Outlanders Journey. Tier 1, Level 3. Chapter 19. Maya Lee, you feel entangled in this new place. These coastal snowy lands are nothing like your grove, tucked away within overgrown trees and foliage. Yet still, when you close your eyes, you sense the familiar pull of the weave, the unmistakable sign of home. Its many loose, silken fibers bend and twist around your body. Needles prick into your skin. You are, as you always have been, a canvas for the land's delicate patterns. You are a vessel of the forest's will. You are finally reconnected to Sylvanos. You spend the next 3 days recuperating your spirit. Everyone sleeps well into the afternoons, except for Errol, with whom you meditate and practice sword-fighting forms. Each day at noon, the old whisperer arrives to deliver food: roasted fish and nuts, cranberry jam, hush puppies, smoked venison, all of which you wolf down. In the afternoon, you, Mock, Rock, and Saki run outside to play in the snow. You teach Mock how to scrape off the untouched top layer and drizzle on cranberry jam or maple syrup, a treat your mother would use to placate you. And Rock, who loves the snow, lets you pile mounds on top of him, leaving only a small opening for his snout. You also enjoy stacking forts and throwing snowballs. No matter how much of the snow you dig up during the day, a new thick layer always blankets the ground overnight. And when the evening comes, you and all the others crowd around the fire, sharing stories and singing songs. It is during these celebratory days that you are no longer aware of time. Its passage seems too quick for you to savor. You wonder if you and Bach and Laurel and Errol and Mock can live like this forever. But you know change is happening. Even in you, something in you has shifted. You have developed a new sense, just as potent as sight and hearing. All creatures, no matter the size or sentience, have a form that bends the fabric of the weave. Beyond their physical form is an otherworldly woven shape, and you can sense them even with your eyes shut. You first recognized this ability when you could predict the old whisperer's arrival. His form reminds you of rough, coarse wool, towering even higher than his already massive physical size, intricately knitted to faraway lands that you've never seen. When he enters the doorway, the threads around your ankles go taut, and each time he steps in, he hesitates for an instant, turning to you with a peculiar look, as though he can sense the threads too. Everyone has a knitted pattern, depending on how attuned to the weave they are. You find that Mock, Elder Lasha, and Bach have the most unique patterns. Mock's is still loosely quilted together, taking on the form of sewn hides constantly sloughing off his shoulders from the winds. Elder Lasha's is ribbon-like and tightly wound around her palm. Bach's is ever-changing, shifting in size and color and texture based on his tumultuous mood, though underneath it all seems to be coiled, raging grief. On the 4th day after your arrival, an elderly Furbolg woman and the old whisperer arrive, each carrying a large pot. She is nearly as tall as the old whisperer, with strong arms and wide hips and loosely braided hair down to her waist. Unlike the old whisperer, however, her woven form is tentative and wispy, like smoke. Something about her feels soothing and familiar. A soft smile forms on her lips as soon as she spots Bach, and she takes him into her embrace. The old whisperer, meanwhile, keeps attending to the food. Steam is rising from the top of the pots, as though they were just recently taken off the fires. The savory, meaty scent fills the air, and soon everyone is crowding around the fire pit as the two Furbolgs set down the food. You hold out your bowl as stew is ladled inside. You see maize and rice, chunks of an unidentified red meat, and dried cranberries. As you drink the broth, you taste the creaminess of the thickened rice, the sweetness of the maize, the tang of the berries, and, most of all, the richness of the meat. Immediately you take another gulp, and another, and another. The flavors are reminiscent of your mother's cooking. "It's bison," cries Mock. "We have bison stew." The old woman smiles. "I wanted to make you all something to remind you of your home. I know this area of the forest must be a very strange place. I dearly miss the plains as well." Dura translates to the orcs, who all nod politely as they hungrily devour their meal. You turn to see Errol and Laurel drinking slowly, as though savoring every drop. Laurel exhales, closing his eyes with deep gratitude. His woven form is currently relaxed and shapeless, easily molded by the forces of the weave around him. You glance over at Bach, but before you see his face, you already sense it. Threads tighten around your chest, rising in temperature, and you know that he's in shock. He stares at his bowl, his arms quivering, his eyes expressing disbelief. He blinks, focusing on the old woman. "Why are we eating bison?" he says hoarsely. The old whisperer pats Bach's shoulder. "I will explain when you are fully rested. For now, eat. Let its life energy become yours." He touches the bottom of the bowl, raising it to Bach's lips. There's a moment of resistance as Bach stares at his bowl in horror, but he relents and drinks, closing his eyes not to savor the flavor, but to pray silently. The threads around your chest relax as Bach sighs, but they are still burning. You lean against him, rubbing your head into his arm, and you sense his unstated thoughts. "Nothing is the same as it was." On the 6th day, you and Errol proceed with what has quickly become a routine for the two of you. She wakes up the earliest, at exactly dawn. So accurate is her circadian rhythm that you wonder if she has the same attunement to the ticking of the weave that you do. Or, more likely, she has simply been well trained. You have her hairbrush already in hand by the time she rolls out of bed. You wait eagerly by the fire, sitting on your knees. Her woven form is a translucent veil blurring her face and chest, swaying rhythmically. When she spots you, some aspect of her shape changes, but you can't quite place what it is. A shift so subtle that it readjusts almost instantly. She tiptoes and plops down behind you, and without any words, she begins running her fingers through your hair. Her hands are soft and warm. You can tell she's being careful but diligent, tugging away the knots at the ends. Then, she reaches around and picks up the hairbrush from your lap. The sharp bristles scrape at your scalp, but you love this feeling. You wonder if this is what it's like to have an older sister. All those years of being hidden away from the rest of the Wood Elf children. If you ever go back, you wish to show off all the friends you've made, all the people you've managed not to scare off. This morning, the air feels markedly different. Its intent has changed, like it has awoken and finally taken notice of your presence. There's an almost stinging, biting quality to it, pricking your cheeks. You compress your woven form so as not to cause any damage, and the pain only grows in intensity. "Something's happening today," you whisper. "Hmm?" says Errol. "What's happening?" "I don't know. Something." "A good or bad thing?" "I don't know. I'm nervous." She begins braiding your hair into pigtails. "There's no need to worry. We're safe." Once she is done, the two of you begin your meditations. She instructs you to close your eyes and breathe in rhythm with her, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Though she sits on her knees, you find that crossing your legs allows you to focus the best. You rest your palms flat on the floor, connecting with the earth, following the winding path of the roots beneath the house. There are crunching footsteps, trudging methodically through the snow. There's a gravity to this singular person. So strong is their pull that it's hard to sense anyone else in their vicinity. They are still miles away, but they are coming your way. You open your eyes, wishing to alert Errol, but something akin to fate itself catches in your throat. She continues to chant, "Breathe in, breathe out," and you stare at her, listening as the ticking of the weave continues to flow unperturbed. And you finally attune to the strange feeling of the air today, inevitability. Just after half an hour, you know this stranger is on the verge of arrival. Almost everyone is still asleep, minus the animals. Laurel, perhaps disturbed by Saki's shifting around on his chest, has sat up, yawning and rubbing his eyes. He spots you and Errol. You wave, and he smiles sleepily. He groans as he gets out of bed and saunters over to you. "You're up early," says Errol. "Couldn't sleep well," says Laurel, pointing up at Saki, who's perched on a railing just below the ceiling. Her tail sways as she observes you. "She seemed agitated all night." Laurel yawns again, and moisture gathers in the corners of his eyes. The stranger's footsteps stop, and you realize they are just outside. You open your mouth, but the words don't form once again. A knock. Laurel and Errol turn their heads to the entrance. "The old whisperer's early," says Laurel. Errol stands and dusts her backside as she makes her way to the door. She peels back the curtain, peering out, and you see the nearly pitch-black complexion of a strange man. You sense a jolt in Errol's form. Even she is shocked by the figure of the man, but she pushes down her surprise and greets him politely. The two converse quietly, and you only make out how deep his voice is. He takes off a pair of darkened spectacles, and for a brief second, he makes eye contact with you, revealing the unmistakable red eyes of a drow, a race of elves whose ancestry and history have been taught to you as cautionary tales. You are assailed with the force of his woven form, this massive, interconnected presence that seems not only to perceive the flow of time in the way that you do, but to have control over the very course of reality, of destiny. "May I come in?" asks the drow. Errol nods, almost bowing. She steps aside and motions for the man to enter. He takes one step, crossing the threshold of the doorway, and the pull of his gravity is nearly too overwhelming to bear. You grab onto Laurel, who you realize has also gone cold. He stares at the man with incredulity. "A drow?" Laurel mutters. The man shakes the snow off his long, braided hair and fur coat. He removes his gloves and nods once at Errol. Each step he takes toward you seems to quiver the strings tugging your mind. He reaches the fire pit. He sits and puts his hands out over the dim flames. On his left cheek is a strange tattooed symbol, your first time ever getting close to a drow. "This winter will be especially harsh," the man says. He sighs as he turns to you. "My name is Leorin." "Nice to meet you," says Laurel, softly. Still gazing at you, the man continues. "And you must be Maya Lee. Archdruid Ihi was telling me about you." You're tugging on Laurel's sleeve, unable to speak. Why was he made aware of your existence and your name? Did he sense you from afar just as you did? You wonder if his cursed heritage would spread onto you and the others. She's a little shy, says Laurel, putting an arm around your shoulders. The drow peers at Laurel, narrowing his eyes with suspicion, and the threads around you tighten. Are you a wood elf as well? He asks Laurel. Laurel glances around nervously before making eye contact with him again. I am. The drow responds in Elvish, and you can only understand a few words here and there. New Everlon, Elven, and disguise. He reaches out toward Laurel's neck, and you instinctively duck. He touches the chains of Laurel's amulet, then smiles and nods. I see, he says in Sylvan. Laurel purses his lips, avoiding eye contact, and in a nervous and almost apologetic tone, mumbles something back. Errol sits down on the drow's other side, also fascinated by his presence. Excuse me, she whispers, but how long have you been living here? The drow sighs. Oh, about 20 years, he says. Time flows differently when you live in a place like this. You look very young, says Errol. He nods. It's a byproduct of the forest's protection. It grants all elves their longevity. You came from the Theric Mining Company? Asks Laurel, touching his own left cheek. You sense another shift of annoyance from the drow, and the air grows more tense. I did, a long time ago. He furrows his brow. Something I don't wish to speak of. I'm so sorry. I meant no offense, says Laurel. It's all right. Many newcomers like to ask about our markings. I guess it's one way to indicate where we came from. Laurel shifts uncomfortably. I hear a lot of the rumors. There are quite a lot of urban legends about how the drow seem to simply vanish. Many have speculated the forest, but I didn't realize you were this deep inside. We have the Archdruid to thank for that. You have no idea what they're talking about. You tug on Laurel's sleeve once more. Laurel's voice enters your head. What's wrong, Lily? Even telepathically, you find yourself unable to respond. He's no threat, if that's what you're worried about. In New Everlon, the drow are enslaved. They work the mines and the mountains to harvest residuum. Most city folk in New Everlon support the abolition of slavery, but it's a touchy topic. They rely on the residuum, so despite their moral objection to slavery, there's not much that can be done. Still, we occasionally hear about the drow organizing to escape, and the successful ones seem to disappear without a trace. No one, not even New Everlon's best trackers, can find them. You turn back to the drow, studying his face. His skin is darker than any complexion you've ever seen, as deep as the night itself, a marker of the curse that they brought forth through their trickery and witchcraft. Their current subjugation is but a necessary punishment. He turns to you, and you feel the air tense for a moment before releasing like an exhale. Just as you can sense his woven form, he seems to detect something about you. He smiles, but you know it's not genuine. Beneath the mask is his overwhelming woven form, reminiscent of Bach's constant roiling fury. This man is more cold and calculating, but the density of this anger is so strong that it could crush you. It is targeted and tactical, and emanates an ambitious desire to forever alter the fate of reality to his will. And while Bach's rage is powered by a deep sense of sorrow, this man's is vengeful and spiteful. You cower behind Laurel again. Lily, "Where are your manners?" says Laurel, nudging you back. The man sighs. "It's all right. Children tend to be scared of me, especially newcomers." He scratches his chin. "Unfortunately, Nero is busy attending to the Archdruid. She would normally be the one escorting you to the Archdruid, but today it is me." He glances around. "There was someone else she was asking for, too." "You're referring to Bach?" asks Laurel. The man nods. "I heard that these two have had their memories altered. Is that correct? She would like to see you and restore these lost memories." You lean into Laurel. You don't know the extent to which Sanos erased your memories, and a part of you wishes not to remember either. You open your mouth, and you find yourself able to speak again. "Do we have to?" you ask. Laurel furrows his brow, a bit surprised by your answer. "You don't want your memories back?" You shake your head. "What if it hurts?" Errol pulls you into her arms. "We'll be there with you." "It could be painful," says the man. "You may find yourself reliving rather unpleasant memories as they're being restored. However, Archdruid Ihi is very eager to meet you both, regardless of this decision. She's been keeping her spirits up in spite of the season." "Is she unwell?" asks Laurel. "You will see." I I don't want to go," you mumble. "Hmm?" "I don't want to see her," you say, a little louder. "I met her in a vision before. I don't want to go to her. I want to stay here." Even Laurel seems surprised by your words now. His voice enters your head, saying, "I thought you wanted her to train you. Wasn't that the entire reason you left your home in the first place?" You shake your head vehemently. "I don't. I just. I want to be with you, and Errol, and Bach, and Mock. I don't have to meet Archdruid Ihi anymore." "I think you'll have to meet her sooner or later," says Laurel. "If we go together with you, it won't be as frightening, and you have every right to refuse her offers." He looks over at the man. "We're all meeting her together, right?" The man nods. "Of course." "But Bach wouldn't say no to her," you say. "He wants his memories back. I'd rather stay here." "You don't have to make the same decision as Bach," says Laurel. "She has an aura about her," says the man. "And her condition can be rather difficult to look at, but she is very generous. My people and I owe her our lives, and she would give all she can for you as well. There is nothing for you to fear." As you open your mouth to protest, the tugging of fate stops you from uttering any words once more. The sense of inevitability is held tight in the drow's grip. He commands the weave's very future, and with a simple snap of his finger, he begins to move towards an imminence that you cannot stop. He is perhaps the most frightening person you have ever encountered, even more frightening than Sanos. You don't know when this shift occurred in your attitude. Perhaps it started after your vision of Archdruid Ihi by the beach. Her rotten stench, her blackened fingers, an emanation of death punctuated her every breath. This sense that, should you follow the path she wishes for you, you would meet a similar fate of decay. Laurel soon leaves the fire pit to awaken Bach. Left alone with the drow man, you now cower behind Errol, who continues to make small talk with him. Eventually, everyone else awakens. The mood amongst everyone is one of bewilderment. No one has apparently met a drow in person before, and though only you, Bach, Laurel, and Errol are supposed to meet the Archdruid, the others are notably curious. Reka and Ark discuss with each other what they will say to Archdruid Ihi. The nomads also chat amongst themselves, watching the drow with suspicion. Mock is constantly glancing at you for any signs that he should intervene, but under the drow's control, you feel almost paralyzed. Bach, meanwhile, is animated. His woven form is dancing, and he's clearly excited by the prospect of restoring his memories. The question of who he is will finally be answered. Before you know it, time passes without your awareness, and the next thing you realize, you are trekking through the snow. You squeeze Errol's hand tightly. The snow comes all the way up to your knees. The air is painful, like thousands of needles pricking your extremities, even with your winter clothes on. You didn't mind it much when you were playing in the snow, but now it is unbearable. The sun has just barely risen, its white light peeking through the deadened tree branches. A few black-capped chickadees perch above you, staring curiously. Saki, nestled in Laurel's shoulder, is also watching you, as though she can sense your dread. "Leoren," says Laurel, "I want to apologize again for my rude questions earlier." He chuckles, adjusting his black spectacles, though you know his laughter isn't real. "I am the first drow you've all met, aren't I?" Laurel nods hesitantly. "I didn't mean any offense." "As long as you don't report our location to the slave catchers." "Are there many drow here?" asks Errol. "We are a growing community. We see more and more arrivals each year, but this risks revealing our location." He glances at you and Bach with a sympathetic expression. "When I heard about your situation from the Archdruid, all I could think was how we could have helped you. We have secret routes to traverse the mountains. Once the runaways reach a certain location in Stonestown, we have the means to bring them safely to the east. If we met along one of these routes, we could have brought you here much sooner." "There's no way we could have known," says Laurel. "I think in hindsight, it was better that we met all the people we did along the way. Not to mention, if any of us who aren't drowned know about the secret route, then it could be dangerous for you." The man nods. "I'm glad we made it in the end," says Bach. Unlike everyone else, he seems completely unperturbed by the drow's presence. "That reminds me," says the man. "Archdruid Ihi mentioned that she is also interested in the young druid boy amongst you. After she meets with you, I'll send for him as well." "Oh," says Errol. "Our navigator, Rekka, is from the western region. He wishes to speak with the Archdruid as well." "I know," he says. "I hope Archdruid Ihi has the energy to meet with all of you." "Are you also a student of hers?" asks Errol. I suppose I still am, though not as much as before. Unfortunately, my area of study doesn't quite fit with her magic. Druidic powers and arcana are, as I've learned, quite incompatible." "You're a mage?" asks Laurel. "As much as I can be without formal training. I've had to scrounge whatever wizardly knowledge I could. However, most of our community is still illiterate. There is one person who has a fair bit of spellcasting knowledge. You'll meet her soon. Her name is Sir Mikas. She will be here in a few days." "Are the other drow not here?" asks Errol. "They are more inland, in a hidden place. I travel back and forth with the Archdruid." "I see," says Errol. "Laurel is a mage too," says Bach, elbowing him. "Oh, Laurel waves his arms defensively. "I'm a failed mage. I can barely cast a second-level spell." "You are too young to fail at anything," says the man. "If you can read a mage's spellbook, then that's more than talented enough. I might even ask for you to assist me." Laurel blinks rapidly with surprise. I'm not sure how much assistance I can provide. More than most, I would assume. He hesitates, then smiles. It would be an honor. He nearly bows, but manages to stop himself. You're taken aback by his reverence to the drow man. He's never displayed such respect for authority before. Is this due to the man's control over fate? You spot smoke rising in the distance, a chimney of some sort, and as you advance closer, you see the roof of a wooden house, unexpectedly clear of any snow. Soon, the rest of the home comes into view, a cabin the style of the houses you passed in Harrington. You smell the salty scent of the ocean not too far away. I remember this, Bach exclaims. I've been here before. Pink, giddy bubbles float out of his woven form's mouth. It begins to expand until it reaches a point of near breakage. His walk breaks into a jog as he hurries toward the cabin. The rest of you struggle to keep up. The closer you approach, the more you can feel the weight of death pressing onto your shoulders. The sensation was also there when you met Archdruid Ihi in your visions, though far more muted. No one around you seems to notice. Why are you the only one who can feel it? Your heart begins to race. You feel oozing, slimy, infectious decay, reminiscent of the dead bison you encountered in the plains. Your skin begins to grow hot, and all at once you wish to tear off your winter gear. You hug Errol's arm. It's okay, she coos, but her words are empty. You arrive at the front door, and you squeeze your eyes shut. Through your weave-touched senses, you see the rot sloughing off the roof and dripping onto the snow. Even as you hold your breath, you can smell it. It stings your nostrils. The drow knocks on the door, and you hear a hoarse, "Come in." The voice pierces your ears. All you can think about is how much you wish to run. The door creaks open. You first see Nero smiling up at all of you. Her woven form is, much to your surprise the first time you met her, nothing at all. It is completely formless. She motions for all of you to step in, and you soon spot the same gray-haired woman sitting by a table near the window. She is wearing a plain, wooden mask with 2 holes for her eyes and a slit in the center for her nose. The room is filled with natural light. A bookshelf similar to Senos's stands along the wall. Though the stench of rot is still present, you can tell great effort was taken to cover it up. There is a pleasant floral scent in both the physical and woven realities. Now that you see her in person, something about her presence has shifted. A life-giving energy is coming from her hidden face in this constant battle for dominion with the aura of death that surrounds her. The woman is as tall as you remember her. A thick shawl drapes her shoulders, hiding the true shape of her body. Her hair is voluminous as you recall. Her hands are gloved. She is breathing heavily. An ornate wooden staff rests across her lap. The drow man motions toward the woman, forcing a smile. This is Archdruid Ihi. Then he gestures at you and Bach. This is Mayali and Bach. He nods and steps aside, slinking to the corner of the room, next to a burning fireplace. The woman opens her arms, and this indescribable force pulls you in. My children, she declares in a booming voice, nothing like anything you've ever heard. You nearly fall to your knees, but you resist. Bach, however, does collapse. He slides toward her, his arms open as well. Ihi, he whimpers, his voice shaking. Ihi. As soon as he reaches her, he crumples into her embrace, his woven form shrunk down to the size of a child. Tears run down his face as he weeps into her chest. Ehe, he repeats again and again. Oh, little brother, you have endured so much. I never should have sent you away. I regret that decision every day, and yet, in spite of your suffering, Silvanos has guided you back to me. Is that my real name? He asks. Everyone here keeps calling me little brother. It is what your family called you, but I sense in your heart that you are not sure if you answer to this title anymore. I don't know, he says. It is your decision. Do you wish to be someone else? He glances back at all of you. I would rather be brother than Bach, at least until I discover my true name. Then you are brother for now. He presses his head into the Archdruid's chest again, crying more intensely. In just a matter of days, his entire sense of purpose seems to have been torn away. You wonder, should he have his memories returned, if he'll even be the same person you know? What if, in discovering his true self, he realizes he wants no part in remaining with you? He wants, after all, to go back home to his mama. You notice that Laurel and Errol are both tearing up at the sight of Bach and Archdruid Ihi's reunion. All you feel is terror. You want Bach to stay as Bach. Archdruid Ihi raises her head, her eyes meeting yours. The hairs on your arms stand. She lifts her hand and beckons you to approach. Come, child. You have nothing to fear. You try to shake your head, but Nero walks to you. You still have no sense of her woven form, hidden away, almost purposefully. She takes your hand. Come now. Archrude Ihi has been waiting for you. She leads you in, and you feel Errol's grip go lax. Everyone around you seems to have control over your body. You drag your feet to Archdruid Ihi, who waits in anticipation. As Nero brings you in, her fingers caress your face. Little Weaver, I have been looking for you. She breathes in slowly, closing her eyes. Your senses are overwhelmed at the moment. I know that feeling. You know? Yes, of course. How does it go away? You ask. If you are willing, I can teach you how to handle your gifts. But, you mutter, I don't want this. It's not a gift, it's a curse. I just want you to take it away from me. I am afraid I cannot do that for you. All I can do is prepare you for inevitable change. If you continue to run, you will not find the peace that you seek. The era of chaos is upon us. She lifts the bottom of her mask, revealing the drooping, darkened flesh along her jawline. I tried for decades to protect us all, but my time is coming. Bach lifts his head. Ihi, are you sick? Are you dying? She strokes his hair. All of us will die eventually. I may not go with the grace and ease I had hoped, but rest assured, I will try to stay for as long as I can, until I teach the three of you how to become the new stewards of our forest. 3? Asks Bach. There is a little orc boy amongst you, no? I will be speaking with him later. The lands have brought you three together for a greater purpose. How much time do you still have? Asks Bach. As long as you need. Do not worry. I am still here, though my abilities are limited now. This is why I have Nero and Leoren at my side. Nero nods. I can teach you all what I know, and the Archdruid will fill in the rest. But before that, we want to restore your memories. The Archdruid puts her hands on Bach's forehead. She lowers her head. I can tell from brother that much has been taken away. Years of his life were built upon falsehoods. It will not be an easy process, but if you would like, we can lift this curse. Same with you, little weaver. Before you can even answer, Bach exclaims, Yes, I want to remember everything. I thought it was all lost, but I want to know it all. Archdruid Ihi and Nero nod. For you, brother, we will need the help of Sir Mikas. It will be a few more days before I can bring her to us. She turns to you. But for you, Maya Lee, we can begin as early as today. You shake your head vigorously. No, I don't want to. It is your choice. I sense in you, despite your hesitation, some desire, some curiosity to learn the truth. But it is still your choice. You bite your lower lip. It is true. You can't help but feel something missing. In the center of your own woven form is a gaping hole, stitched together for now by ephemeral strands of connections. The truth, always burning away at the seams, is the question of why your family has not been searching for you ever since your separation. Why you don't know what happened to yourself or your family prior to being locked away by Senos. And you know, in some way or another, that the answer is trapped behind his memory-altering spell. The revelation will only reveal what you already know about yourself. If I do it, you say, I want to do it with Bach. I mean, brother. But if we do it, will we become different people? What will happen to us? It will depend on you, little one, says the Archdruid. It is your choice to make, to seize your own personhood. Good or ill, all of your memories are yours to form, remember, and forget. Her voice is slow and reassuring, in spite of the stifling air. If she teaches you how to live with the sensation of the weave, then perhaps you can live something akin to a normal life. Will you really teach me? You ask. Archdruid Ihi nods. I will impart everything I know to you. You are all precious children to Sylvanus and the forest, with gifts that will rejuvenate this dying land. You have been chosen, perhaps not of your own volition, but you are the rightful successors to this land. There is a flash of regenerative energy in her fraying woven form, her vision of the future, in which you, Bach, and Mach all stand at the heart of this forest, bonded to the land and its ancient inhabitants, maintaining the delicate balance of life and death. In her foresight, you find a clear place for yourself, confident, loved, dignified, powerful, your threads resewn. You understand, however, that it is only her vision and not one of inevitability, the way the drow's aura dictates. Her dream isn't certain. Out of all of the forces fighting for dominance over you and your friends, the Archdruid's is the most welcoming and consoling. You nod. Okay, I'll have my memories back. Even as you obey, you know you are helpless, caught like an insect in a spider's web, and there is little you can do. In this supposed sanctuary, there is still turmoil. Disaster and chaos are looming at the cusp.